Before I start, I just want to say, listen, it's been a rough day for me. In order to make this video, I had to watch a lot of sad things. I shared some of the sad things, but I didn't share the most horrific and gruesome things. I spared you that. I did put up the caption, "Don't look away," and I followed my own advice, and I watched some of the most horrible things I've ever seen as a human being and as a father. I'm pretty fucking angry right now, if I'm being honest. Sadness crystallized into that, but I'm going to put my emotions to the side for this because that's not what this is about. This isn't about me at all and my emotions or anything else. This is just about informing people who are maybe ignorant about what's happening. Today's video is about the suffering. Gaza's suffering in human terms. Today isn't about maps or politics or military acronyms. Today is about people, children, parents, doctors, aid workers, human beings who are living through a catastrophe that is being engineered around them. It's called a genocide. I want you to picture what they're living through, because genocide isn't an abstract concept. This is not Darth Vader. It's lived moments, moment by moment. And those moments are what we need to focus and hold on to if we want to hold on to our humanity. Children, they've been at the center of this conflict the entire time. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, calls Gaza the most dangerous place in the world to be a child. One of their spokespeople, James Elder, put it plainly: there is nowhere safe for children to go. Pause on that. What does that mean? No schools to run to, no basements that will hold you in safe harbor, no shelters that will protect you, no safe place. Among the identified dead are at least 18,430 children and 9,735 women, and the numbers are growing every day because bodies are still being pulled from the rubble and identified. I've seen children under the rubble. Those who survive and face hunger that stunts their growth, infections from dirty water, dehydration that makes even swallowing painful, and trauma so deep that sleep brings no rest at all if they can even get sleep among the bombs. Let me put a name on it. Yazan al-Karfaneh. He was 10 years old. He has cerebral palsy. He lived in Rafah in the south. Yazan needed special food and medicine, neither of which made it through the blockades. In March of 2024, sadly, he died of malnutrition. A disabled child with cerebral palsy starved to death, not because of the lack of food, but because it was kept from him behind blockades. The world was trying to feed him, and that's not an outlier. That's a symbol of what is happening to tens of thousands of kids in Gaza every day. It's happening right now. Hunger, starvation, and the battle for food, you see it. In August 2025, a UN-backed food security monitor, the Integrated Food Security Phase classification, confirmed that famine does indeed exist in Gaza City, and it's rampant. Their warning was blunt. Without unrestricted access to aid, famine would just spread exponentially like a cancer. Think about what that means. Famine isn't a potential, it's a present. It's a I need to eat right now. When one crossing shuts down, like the Zickum corridor, aid kitchens closed almost overnight. Free meals dropped by 2/3 in just 10 days. Parents began boiling weeds and animal feed to feed their children. Children were diagnosed with acute malnutrition at record levels. In July alone, nearly 12,000 children under 5 were found to be wasting away. Look at the videos. That is the highest monthly total ever recorded in human history. Doctors Without Borders, I'm going to struggle with this one, Médecins Sans Frontières, a French-based humanitarian group that works globally, said, our staff and patients are wasting away. Now, imagine being a parent. I'm a parent. And watching your child shrink before your own eyes as you shrink, and knowing that there's nothing you can do, even though the world's trucks of flour and medicine are parked just miles away, not being let in by security forces. On February 29th, 2024, desperation drove thousands to a flour convoy on Al Rashid Street in Gaza City. People thought food had finally arrived. Instead, it was a honey trap. Gunfire erupted. Witnesses, medics, and human rights groups say Israeli forces opened fire into the crowd. Over 118 civilians were killed, more than 700 injured as they tried to grab flour to survive so they can make bread. They call it the Flower Massacre. And aid workers themselves, they're not safe. On April 1st, 2024, 7 staff from World Central Kitchen, a food relief nonprofit, were killed by 3 consecutive drone strikes as they traveled in clearly marked vehicles on a route pre-cleared with Israeli defense forces. The cars had the organization's logo painted on the roof, visible from the sky. One car was hit, then another car, then the last car. Israel later admitted responsibility and announced internal disciplinary action. Whoopsie fucking do. But those aid workers, people feeding the hungry, they're gone. Their families mourn them. Living in tents and living in ruins is an everyday thing. The majority of Gaza's 2 million residents are displaced. Families now live in tents stretched over rubble. Some use nothing but plastic sheets tied to broken rebar. Children walk barefoot over concrete dust. Parents scavenge for wood to burn for cooking. Aid groups say shelter, materials, all blocked or delayed for months. Even today, the trickle of supplies is a fraction of what's actually needed to sustain the people of Gaza. You've seen the images if you're paying attention. Thousands of people crowded into exile lines, pushing carts stacked with mattresses and pots. Children carrying younger children on their shoulders, weaving through the wreckage of their once neighborhood and their no longer life. The daily question is not about education, not about dreams. The daily question is, will I eat today? As another kid loses 2 or 3 years of his high school and his future is squandered. Hospitals are treated like battlefields. The health system is shattered. The UN's Humanitarian Office, OCHA, the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, has tracked more than 700 attacks on health facilities since the war began. Dozens of hospitals have been damaged or forced to close. Premature babies in an incubator face immediate risk every time there's a power outage. The second the lights go down, it's over. Without fuel for generators, incubators turn from lifelines to fucking coffins. In August 2025, Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis was struck twice in the stairwells. 22 people were killed, including 5 journalists. Investigations by Reuters and the Associated Press found the camera on site belonged to a Reuters photographer. The second strike landed while people were evacuating bodies from the first. Frontline doctors describe wounds that look like deliberate assassinations. Single gunshots to the head, neck, and chest of children. Those are not the patterns of crossfire. Those are the patterns of genocide and extermination. Targeting. Journalists are paying the price every day. This is the deadliest conflict for journalists in modern record keeping. Over 200 have been killed since October 2023, and probably more than that as well. These are not just numbers. They are the people who carried cameras, who kept notebooks, who live streamed, who let us see what was happening there, who was recording history in live time, and that is erasure. Killing journalists blinds the world. It makes atrocity easier to deny. Ignorance is bliss, right? Children, carrying children. Children who have lost their parents by the tens of thousands. UNICEF estimates at least 17,000 kids are unaccompanied or separated from their families. Stories of children just holding themselves crying. The Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics puts the number of orphans even higher. Tens of thousands have lost one or both parents and are trying to survive in a living hell by themselves with no food. In one Rafah shelter, 2 cousins, 4 and 6-year-old, were found living alone. Their entire families killed. Aid workers said they were just in shock. Just sitting there in silence, holding the only remnant of their family left. See, this is why you see small children carrying even smaller children through rubble. Why you see kids picking dry pasta out of debris piles in their t-shirts. Why you see teenagers hauling sacks of flour bigger than themselves. Childhood has been traded for survival. One UNICEF worker said, "It breaks my heart to see children around me strive for a cup of clean water and cannot find it. Another said they're dying in every way possible, and if you go on TikTok, trust me, you're going to see it. I don't give a fuck how much you like horror movies. Nothing compares to what you'll see. Guns, bullets, drones, tanks. People talk about the fog of war, but the fog doesn't explain everything. A lot of excuses. It doesn't explain why food is dropped in public squares and then crowds are shot at as they run for it. It doesn't explain drone munitions hitting convoys of aid workers whose routes were pre-cleared. It sure as fuck doesn't explain headshots to children seen by emergency medics. And it doesn't explain flotillas, small boats, trying to deliver sacks of rice and flour by sea, being harassed, shadowed, and even attacked by Israeli naval drones. In 2025, European governments dispatched naval escorts not to land aid, but to stop boats from being bombed as they turned back. This is not fog. This is a smoke bomb. This is policy. What this is genocide by attrition, not just through bombs, but through starvation as a weapon, medicine as a bargaining chip, water as a lever, education as collateral, and journalism as a target. It's not chaos. It's an institution. It's a system. And none of this should be an excuse for the killing of innocent civilians, children, women, men, anywhere on this planet. Precisely because civilian life is sacred, we say, open the crossings, let food in, let water in, protect hospitals and schools, stop killing innocent civilians, and protect the people who tell the truth. Get better at war if you want to destroy Hamas. Liberate the people, but you're destroying them because you think they're savages. I want you to leave with the numbers this time, but just with a sentence. A Palestinian child told an aid worker, "We don't dream anymore. We just try to wake up tomorrow." And this is what genocide does. It steals tomorrow. And that's why we have to speak. Free Palestine. End the genocide in Gaza. And immediately stop the innocent killing of civilian children, women, and men. Right the fuck now.